My face.
Come on, man.
Look at my face, man. What talking about?
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about YBN Almighty J and Skinny from the 9. Now, Skinny from the 9 is a New Jersey MC who, man, he blew up around the same time as YBN Almighty J. I want to say like around that 2017, 2018 era. And it was a different era in hip-hop then, man. Now, YBN Almighty J and Skinny from the 9 obviously don't like each other because they just ran that fade on social media, man. Now, these two MCs have been going back and forth, dissing each other online, talking mess, and usually, that doesn't materialize to anything. But man, I guess they figured out we might as well just run this fade, and based on what Skinny from the 9 is saying, and the people on his social media, man, he basically ran up on YBN Almighty J, knocked on his door, and let him know, let's get it. And what they did was run the fade. It looks like nobody got seriously hurt, and everything is all good. Now, their stories differ about this situation, and YBN Almighty J pretty much went dark. Like he's not posting anything right now. He's just posting, pictures, and we'll get to that and all that. But before we get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this fade between YBN Almighty J and Skinny from the 9. Okay, like I said before, Skinny from the 9 is New Jersey MC. He came up during what they call the cloud era. There was that weird time in hip-hop where you had most of the SoundCloud rappers crossing over. And Skinny from the 9 was at the end of that. He was at the end of all that. So when that started to go down, his decline was quicker than most. He didn't even get to all the accolades of being a cloud rapper or whatever, or a SoundCloud rapper at the time. His career went down really quick. Now, there were a couple of run-ins that Skinny from the 9 had where, he had gotten into a fade before, but he wasn't on the winning end. Now, I'm not saying he won this fade with YBN Almighty J, but those other fades, he definitely did not catch a W. You know what I'm saying? It was more like catching an L. But when you stand your ground and you throw it for you get my respect as a man. You know what I mean? Especially as a grown man. You know what I mean? I'll never diss anybody for, losing a fade if they stood their ground. It happens. What did Pops from Friday say? You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. And a lesson can be learned from all that. Now, I can't play the video of them getting into the fade, man. I know. Yeah, it's a sad situation with that. Because, YouTube has its guidelines, and, man, I've posted, videos like that before, and, it's a fight to even keep them up. You know what I mean? I don't want to go through all that. The video is widely available on YouTube right now. Some, troll accounts and things like that are posting it so you can see it clearly. But, man, in the fade, you see that they both squared up. They both took off their shirts, and they both said, man, let's get it. Now, Skinny from the 9, he took to social media after the fade was over and said a few things. So let's actually look at that clip, and then we'll get back to Skinny from the 9 and what he said prior to that.
My face.
Come on, man.
Look at my face, man. What talking about? Look at my face, man.
And let's not talk about how I went and knocked on the door after this.
What happened? What happened?
Come on. We went and knocked on the door. Like, nah, I'm cool. I with you, Skinny. Nah, it ain't like that. On blood.
Come on.
Now, based on what they're saying right there, and what Skinny from the 9 and his crew are saying, that YBN Almighty J almost turned down the fade. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't want the fade. But eventually he got up enough heart and went out there and, man, threw it from the shoulders, swung from the hips, man, made sure that he was connected. Because I can tell you, he did drop Skinny from the 9 twice. Like, you seen Skinny from the 9 get dropped twice, but then you seen Skinny from the 9 choking out YBN Almighty J, and they started to break their fight up. I don't know what kind of rules they had set up or whatever. Maybe it was like that King Sid situation that he had where he had his fight where they were just only going to throw hands, no wrestling involved. But all in all, it looked like a really quick fight. And most fights end up being really quick, man. And look at that, man. They both are doing all right. Nobody's hurt. You heard Skinny from the 9. He was like, my face is all right, man. Now, obviously, this isn't the most mature way to settle your differences. You know, settling your differences should always be in a peaceful manner. You know, you got cooler heads always prevail, or try to have cooler heads prevail, and make sure that you talk things out. But when it gets to the point where, you know, ain't no more talking, it gets to the point where ain't no more talking. You know what I'm saying? And obviously they got to that point. Now, I didn't know their beef was this bad. I know they had been talking mess back and forth, but everything that Skinnyfromthe9 was saying on social media prior to this had nothing to do with him and YBN Almighty J. Because, you know, as quiet as it's kept, and I think some news publications picked it up, Skinnyfromthe9 just got signed again, but this time he got signed to Soulja Boy. So it's looking like he's trying to get some type of resurgence in his career, and he's stepping out there tough, you know what I mean? So, man, let's actually look at his last post. Now, in the very first post, which wasn't posted that long ago, man, it was probably around the same time that they were getting into that fade, he posted this. He said, "Cats from my own city was up and ain't trying to help a brother out. Now that Soulja Boy signed me, them same people calling my phone." And basically, he's just talking about his issue in the rap game. Because remember, Skinnyfromthe9 went viral recently, man, talking about the fact that, you know, he got shot. And that was like that was the biggest thing that we heard from him. You know, I did a whole video on it in the whole 9. No pun intended. Now, Skinnyfromthe9, like I said, he came in a weird era and at the tail end of it. So a lot of those rappers during that time had a hard time crossing over to what's going on right now in hip-hop. Because the majority of the fans, they've gravitated towards artists that are more, you know, closer to the street. I mean, that are really close to the street, like the real deal. So, you know, a lot of the people from that clout rap era, they find it a tough time fitting in because, you know, you would look corny if you were wearing blue hair and stuff like that. You know, you were dressing like a punk rocker, and now you want to act like a gangster. You know, so they understand that, yo, that would look crazy, so they stay away from that. But they also want to still be artists in the game because a lot of these dudes are relatively young, like still super young, to be honest with you. Like YBN Almighty J and Skinnyfromthe9. These dudes are really young dudes. But man, he continued with his next post and he said something more close to what went down with the fade, right? And he said this. He said, "Never deny fades." Now with that post, I'm not sure if he was making a statement saying he never denies fades or letting it be known that YBN Almighty J tried to deny the fade and they weren't going for it. Because I mean, based on what they were saying, it seemed like, man, the fade was inevitable, man. Or either YBN Almighty J was going to be called out. Now YBN Almighty J made a post of his own. And it was this, man. It's funny, man. All he did was he posted his Gucci socks, and obviously, you know, they are worn at the bottom. Because I didn't notice, did they not have on shoes during the fight? Like, I mean, did they take off shoes and shirts? Like, what is this, like an underground fight club or something like that? But if you look at this, it says, "Man, I done messed up my Gucci socks." And obviously, those Gucci socks are done. And I'm pretty sure they're expensive. I'm broke, so I don't know how much Gucci socks cost. I couldn't tell you. But it's a lot of money, I bet. You know what I mean? Now, all in all, this is funny to laugh at. And yes, man, this isn't the best way to solve any type of issues. I don't want to send that message at all, man. I don't want to make it seem like fighting is the only way to get things out of the way. You know what I'm saying? That's not the mature way of doing things, putting your hands out there. But when it comes to that, and you ain't afraid, and you can show that, you know, you a man and stand on your own, salute. You know what I mean? Now, hopefully, they done got this out of the way, and they both can get back to getting on this music, and hopefully get some money. Because both of them need some more, you know, need a lot more in that department as far as the music game is concerned. You know what I mean? Now, with that, this been your boy, Big Man. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you think that YBN Almighty J and Skinnyfromthe9 getting into a fade is a good thing? Or do you think it's a bad thing because it shows immaturity or whatever like that? Now, with that, this been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.